Welcome to another AMA with Kadena Project Network. In this episode, we will be speaking with the teams from Miners of Kadenia, KadCars, and Alpha Slayers Club. This conversation was recorded on June 6, 2022, live on Twitter Spaces. The views and expressions in this AMA do not represent the views of KPN directly and are not to be considered as financial advice. Please make sure to do your own research on the projects presented. Also make sure to follow our account to be alerted of new uploads. Now let's get started. Enjoy. What is happening, lovely Kadena people? Looks like we're going to be having ourselves an impromptu spaces here. We got Miners of Kadenia, we got Alpha Slayers, and KadCars is going to be joining us for a little chat. So sit back and relax as we wait for people to join up. If you're once you come from those teams, just make sure to send a request to speak, and I will make sure to add you to the conversation. Thank you very much, and welcome to Kadena Project Network. If you guys don't know, my name is Chris. I'm one of the community managers over here at the Kadena Project Network. We are trying to build a large ecosystem of like-minded community people who love Kadena as much as we do. So make sure if you haven't followed us on Twitter already, drop that follow. We also have a Discord channel that you can join. We have a Telegram, a Reddit, and soon we will be releasing our website. So make sure to stay tuned for that. So I just want to welcome everyone to the space. We're just waiting for the Miners of Kadenia and the Alpha Slayers and KadCars to join up. They are probably still ending up the spaces that they were doing together. This was a very last minute impromptu thing that we thought we'd just throw together for you people. Trying to bring you some of the best AMAs with some of the best projects out there on the Kadena market to date. I see some waves. Welcome guys, welcome to the channel. I'm just waiting for the rest of the crew to join up here, and then we'll be getting this space started. So I thought I'd just play a little music for you guys while we wait. Oh, we're getting some more people joining in. Welcome, welcome everybody. We're just waiting on some of the other members of the AMA to finish up with their AMA space on the other side of things. So hopefully they'll be joining us very soon. If you are from one of the other groups, make sure to request to speak so we can add you to the list of speakers. Thank you very much and welcome everyone. I've added you to speak. Hello, how's it going?
Hey man.
Hey, welcome, welcome.
Hey, this is Spaceman. And,
how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, bro. I'm good. How about you, man?
Doing well, doing well. Welcome, welcome.
Yeah, I just want to.
I see the other space is still going on, so.
Yeah, their space is still going on. Probably they are in the end stage. He mentioned that he will be joining here, so probably in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, no problem, no problem.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting here and wait. No problem at all.
I want to say that in the meantime that what you guys are doing for the ecosystem, which is very remarkable, and I do really appreciate what the work you guys doing with all the info about projects and stuffs and spaces, AMA. Really, really remarkable, man. Hats up to your dedication, sir.
Thank you very much. That's much appreciated. We're trying to do our best to make sure that we provide a space for the community to come together and be able to promote each other's projects and talk to each other. And we're very proud to be hosting all these AMAs with all these amazing projects and getting the word out and spreading the Kadena love around.
Yeah, and you guys are doing a damn good job about it, and I am very excited about your upcoming website and to see things about more about ecosystem. So hopefully, I hope it will be coming sooner.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks, man.
Put a little more music on the background while we sit here and wait. Hopefully those guys will be finished with their AMA soon. I'm sure it's quite amazing. I was going to catch a little bit of it, but had to do our own little AMA that we were doing before with Alpha Slayer Club. So if you guys didn't get a chance to listen into that, make sure you check out our Twitter. There will be a link on there for the recording. So you can go back and listen to our little chat that we had. He will be joining us again for this space as well, hopefully, as well as the Miners of Kadenia. Oh, there we go. We got people joining in now. Here we go.
MoK.
Hello, everyone.
Hey guys.
Welcome.
Hold on, we're bringing
How's
a
it
few
going?
friends with us.
Awesome.
Guys, unfortunately I have to jump in like 20 minutes. But yeah, thanks for setting this up again.
No problem. Kind of a last minute impromptu thing, but we're glad to be able to get everyone in
Yeah,
here.
I love that.
So if anyone else wants to step up and be a speaker, feel free to just send me an invite and get you all mic'd up. So how'd your spaces go over there with your last one? I saw you guys had quite the nice little community and crowd over there.
That's because we pay people to attend. I mean, we Adam already understood that bribes are the way to go in this community. We pay them to attend. We pay them to speak, right? Bribes works.
Yeah, sure.
You be quiet, puppy dog. Yeah, my dog in the background barking away at me. So yeah, awesome. Glad to see so many projects coming together. Actually, it's awesome. Even if it's like last minute impromptu, let's just throw a space together and people can come and chat and just grow this community together.
Hell yeah! I mean, it's fun. It's fun as hell, right? I didn't expect spaces to be so fun, right? But turns out they're funner than I expected them to be.
They can be when you get the right group of people together, for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. Do we have Don over here? Yes, we do. Don, you want to come over as a speaker? It's been a long time since I heard your voice.
Yeah, feel free to send in a request to speak. I'll definitely add anyone that sends.
The next person that requests to speak gets $5. $5, right? $5.
That's cheap.
There you go.
That's cheap, man.
I cannot control inflation. There was a period in which $5 were a lot of money.
Yeah, man.
Who knows? Maybe one day it will be again.
With CBDCs, maybe.
I hope not. I really hope those don't become a thing. At least not government run.
Oh, they
at least
will.
not government run.
Of course they will. You're like a year and a half away from that.
Yeah, I know. Sad.
I mean, a week and a half ago, I actually met with an executive from Finastra. Now, I don't know if any one of you guys knows Finastra. I mean, Don, maybe you know, but I think they're like the third largest fintech firm on the planet. And he gave me some sweet alpha about things that are happening. And basically, like, every single bank, every single country, and their brothers and their sisters, all of them are already working on CBDCs. All of them, right? Like, they're not waiting for anybody. They're already there.
Yeah. It's going to be sad that people are going to be like, oh, it's going to be awesome. We're going to have this new form of digital money and everything, and not realize that the pitfalls, major pitfalls that will come along with it. But it'll be interesting to see what markets will come up if that does become a thing. Like, will there become like a black market for cash?
I have absolutely no idea. I mean, actually, I live in Israel, and like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, they started introducing laws that say, okay, you're not allowed of having more than 13,000, or you're not allowed to do a payment of over 11,000 shekels, which is like 3,000 something dollars at the time in cash. You're not allowed to. If you're paying more than 11,000 shekels, right? You gotta split it. So a portion you do in cash, a portion you do, with like your card, right? And this year, I think there was introduced a bill saying that you cannot hold more than an X amount of cash at home, right? I mean, it's
how would they
obvious.
regulate that?
Well,
how would they know how much cash you have in your home?
They won't. They won't. But if he cops in your house and he finds
Yeah,
a big bag of cash, hey, you're liable, right? It's the
that's
same
just
way as saying,
silly.
how will they enforce you having drugs at home, right?
Yeah,
They won't until they somehow catch you.
yeah. Crazy, crazy times that we're living in.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I could definitely speak to that a little bit here over in America. Probably for about, I don't know, 30 years or so, there have been like these little magnetic tape strips that are embedded into the paper of all bills that were like higher denominations, like 20 and up. And if you have more than a certain amount of them on your person, it'll set off a metal detector at an airport or something like that, So it's like to cut down on like smuggling, basically, And there's definitely ways that they could incorporate that kind of technology to be able to tell like how much cash you have in your home, like if they want to, like look at all the technology we all play with every day. Like right now in our hands, these little tiny boxes, it's like all of that stuff started off being like, created by some government agency somewhere. Like that's just the facts, like
even blockchain was created in part by the government. So
there you go.
Like SHA is a government made algorithm. So so we just kind of are piggybacking on it. But yeah, it's interesting to see that people are starting to also wake up to all of this too, and realizing that how important decentralization and being in control of your own stuff is. It's becoming more and more important to people. And like I'm in Canada, so I myself can see that. Like up here, where every day I see the cost of everything going up, gas constantly going up, the value of your money going down. Like your wage isn't increasing. Like I'm not getting a freaking increase in my wage every couple of months as this goes on. So it's a world. We're living in a world where you have to either take the leap and move into the Web3 decentralized world, or you're going to fall behind and get sucked down into all the perils that come along with watching the legacy system die. And it's dying. It's dying hard right now across the world, which is, especially with the supply chain being completely out of whack and all of that kind of stuff, we're really seeing a need for a financial freedom and a breakaway from that old monarchy legacy completely controlled system. And hopefully Kadena will be part of it, and we'll all be riding the people that got in, like people that bought Bitcoin at less than $1.
So
we'll be like those people.
With that, I do have a question. Okay, I know that it's slightly how can I say this? It's a difficult question to ask, but are you guys socialist or capitalists? Right. This question is like
That depends on
everybody.
Yeah, it really depends on your sway, and it really all depends on, if you look at it country wise. I'd say we're definitely capitalist in Canada specifically, because it's all about money. It's not about governments. For many years have shown their true faces, that it's not about the people anymore. It's about the money. And it's sad to see that happening. And but then again, there's not much you can do about it. And like, as far as you see, people think of socialist countries and think of countries like Russia and stuff like that, where a lot of stuff is government supplied. But right now, you go look over in Russia, even though they're facing large embargoes and all this kind of stuff, all of their shelves are stocked. You go to their grocery stores and things like that, they got lots of meats, lots of food, all of that kind of stuff. I go to the grocery stores here in Canada and things are bare. Like bare. The shelves are missing like half the supplies and things like that. And a lot of that's just due to poor world management, really.
Oh yeah, definitely. But it also about being able to leverage stuff, right? And Russia is in a position to leverage others or leverage themselves and its citizens. But actually, and also, my question, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Okay, I was going to say just also that our countries throughout the year, especially Canada itself, has like Canada is one of the wealthiest countries in the world as far as natural resources and stuff go. And throughout the years, our government.
You guys have maple syrup.
Oh yeah, maple syrup. Like that's just pure freaking gold. Like that's the brown gold instead of black gold. It's brown gold. But but really, it's like we couldn't sell out our assets fast enough to whoever wants to buy it, and hopefully we see a change in the curve of how things go, and maybe a go back to control where the government is for the people and not trying to sell the people. But we're kind of getting a little bit away from blockchain.
Yeah, actually, that's what I wanted to mention. That's what I wanted to say, because my question wasn't actually aimed at countries or governments. It was actually meant towards all of you as like individually. Would you guys consider yourselves to be capitalists or a socialist? And the main idea was to direct that question towards actually crypto, because when we as individuals look at crypto or like Web3 and decentralization, we all have different motives to do the things that we do. Some believe in crypto and love crypto because of its decentralized, narrative. Others, they don't care about decentralization. They just care about money. Others, they just want to build and they love the tech, right? And I did manage to notice that how a person defines themselves as a capitalist or a socialist, that does manage to aim him towards a certain area over there.
It's part of it's a part of someone's Venn diagram. It's in that middle triangle, things that kind of all loop together. But I definitely agree with that for sure. I myself, I've been in crypto since about 2018, but I immediately right away saw the potential in the tech over the potential in I could be rich. Because if that was the case, I would probably not be sitting here right now and probably would have learned how to trade all those crappy shit coins and tokens for millions of dollars on the fly and have retired to some beach by now. Like if it was about the money, I have had lots of chances to definitely make that money and get out. Whereas it's more about what the future can bring. Like I've invested in projects that have not really gone up at all, but I believe that once the future comes around to where only the decentralized and only the projects with actual utility and use case will survive. For example, proof of work, most proof of work projects like Kadena, because proof of stake, as much as great as it is, it pretty much just favors the wealthy, because the more you have, the more you get. So proof of work, it's proof of work. You have to actually put in effort to get rewarded. So those projects will always stick around, especially ones like Kadena that are focused more on less energy usage as well. So like it's not going to be the huge Bitcoin sucking energy hog that they have now. So it's all about building up into the future and planning now and building that infrastructure at the very bottom. It's like we're building the very bottom layer of an Oreo cookie, and then you got packed with and stuff that builds that middle layer where you have all of the infrastructure and all the guts that helps build the applications, which is the top of the cookie on top. It's just a simple way I've always visualized it. But especially with Kadena right now we're so early that there's so much potential for people to do, but I'm finding that the general issue that everyone seems to have wanting to get into building on Kadena is the fact that there's not much documentation or previous kind of use cases for examples. Now we have projects like you guys, like Miners of Kadenia. We got other people in the chat. I see there's some kitty CAD token or icons, things like that. So there are projects out there that are very good examples and use cases of building on Kadena that you could definitely reach out to for resources. It's just we're not at a level yet that, you know, the average person can come in and just, you know, jump on and build right away. Now, that being said, we did have an 8-year-old create a smart contract the other day using Pact. So if an 8-year-old can do it, I firmly believe that just about anyone, if they took the time and had, you know, a slight technological edge, could pick it up quite easily. Oh, there's KadCars joining in.
Definitely. And over here, we got two things. We got on one side, you know, documentation from Kadena, but on the other side, we got the ability of working together as a community to help and support each other and help each other out.
Exactly. Yeah, community is what will end up driving all of this. And the more that we all share our knowledge with each other, the more we'll build. And once you start building, it's just going to be a snowball effect.
And once you start building, it's so difficult to stop.
Yeah. So we got some new people joining. Feel free if you guys want to step up and have anything to say. It's kind of just an open forum for us to speak and talk about what we're building, what we're working on, and what our plans are for the future.
I definitely agree with the whole snowball effect. Once with Pact, what I noticed is it's like you said, there's very little documentation. There's enough to get you kind of started, but then once you want to do all the complicated stuff, like this is where you have to like deep dive and then just do a bunch of trial and error and see what works. But like as he said, it's like a rabbit hole that once you start going in, there's no going back, and like you just kind of commit to it. And then it's like this perpetual thing of like, I got to get this to work. You get it to work, and then you're like, okay, now I have to get this other thing to work. And it's too, you've already built too much to let it all go. So yeah, it's pretty fun and scary at the same time.
Yeah, it kind of sucks you in once you start learning.
Yeah.
Well, anything that comes with passion, right? If you're passionate about something, there's no stopping you. It's just like you said, it's not having the enough documentation. You get enough documentation to just kind of get your foot in the door, but from there, it's going to be up to the community to kind of step together and help each other out and say, okay, you know, find someone who's done the next step that you're trying to do, and see if you can help each other build and continue on.
And that's exactly why the growth itself is so exponential, because the things that we're doing right now, we're the very first ones to be doing it. But once we have done that, then other people will have a much easier time continuing from where it is that we dropped off.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, hopefully, as like I said, as more projects build and get started, that'll bring more. I like to see more kind of crossover between chains. Like you see a lot of projects that are started off on Ethereum, of course, and that are just like, you know, they don't, unless you become one of those blue chip NFT projects or something, paying gas fees and paying all that kind of stuff is just not feasible for a lot of projects starting off. Like just to mint your collection or do anything like that, you're paying, you know, a good chunk of your money just for that. So Kadena is definitely good for solving that problem. Then you get into the whole that there isn't enough community. Well, that's not really true. It's just you have to find the right avenues. So that's one of the things with the KPN that we're trying to do is bring all these people together and all these different projects to a place where they'll be able to communicate with each other and help each other build the needed documentation, which we're also going to hopefully help along the lines of like helping people set up, you know, conversations. We all have our Discord channel, and every way that you could set up chats in there. And we welcome everyone that wants to build on Kadena and build this community to join in and get involved and just bring your knowledge to a new space, because we're not going to make it very far if people kind of keep this information to themselves. You know, it is all available and smart. If you can read a smart contract, obviously you're going to be able to go back and kind of read through and find out where they have, or if they release their GitHub, then you could always go back and look through the coding. But it's good to see people actually step up and say, hey, I created this. Here's how I did it. If you need help, reach out to me, because without that, we're just going to sit here and spin our wheels and never really go anywhere. Because the Kadena team is great and all, but as we continue to grow and get more popular and more people want to grow on top of Kadena, they're not going to be able to handle that influx, and they're just going to eventually be like, sorry, we can't answer everyone's questions, like we have to work on our own stuff, to make sure that the chain keeps growing and everything. So it's good to see, though, that the community is very passionate and driven and wanting to step up and fill that void.
And also, one thing to add there, for projects who want or are thinking of moving to Kadena from like other blockchains, it's not just gas that's cheap on Kadena. Something that I think KDA tweeted recently and highlighted is that it's also, data is also cheap on Kadena, right? When you have multiple chains, data provisioning is cheaper, so you could mint your entire NFTs on chain with Kadena, unlike on other platforms potentially. So that's another cool reason to, if you're on another blockchain, to potentially either move to Kadena or become cross chain.
Awesome. That's a very awesome point to bring up that I didn't know myself. So thank you.
Yeah, sure.
See, it's things like that. More sharing what you know and what you've learned, so that we can all further grow together and just bring this space to the next level. Like, I believe Kadena fell out of the top 100 recently, but there's no reason that in a couple of years that this can't be a top 10 or top 20, top 10 coin, but also one of the most robust communities and networks out there, because it has the drive, it has the capabilities to do so. It just needs now the actual people to step up and do that, and we're seeing it grow exponentially every day. Almost every day I'm seeing a new project being announced that's building on top of Kadena, which is great. Can barely keep up with it.
And just to add to that, we had so many people asking us, why is Kadena not doing this, or why is Kadena not doing that? And those people seem to be missing the point. Kadena doesn't need to do anything. Kadena just needs to build its own blockchain. That's it, right? Build, improve your blockchain. That's it, right? Anything else, taking Kadena to the top 100, taking Kadena to the top 10, top 5, top 1, doesn't matter. That's not something that the devs in Kadena need to do, right? That's something that we need to do. So we gotta, just start working, start building, and it will come.
Yep, exactly. If you build it, they will come. So hopefully just the more people that come out of the woodwork and decide to build, and just the more use cases that we see, it's just going to become something that it will, next thing you know, it'll be the next, people will be buying Kadena NFTs and putting them as their profile pics on Twitter and things, which we already see. So it's just going to grow eventually, exponentially from here. We're all so very early in the space.
Yeah, all eyes are going to be on Kadena soon. I'm sure of that. When these awesome projects launch, everyone's going to be looking at Kadena NFTs instead of like other NFTs potentially.
Yeah, the only problem I see about Kadena right now, as far as getting people involved in buying NFTs, is that buying Kadena itself can be a hassle. Depending on where, especially depending on where you live. So
yeah, but it's getting easier. I mean, and I think
as more
has like a Fiat on ramp too. That's going to be a huge help, right?
Yeah, that's what we need. A very basic click and buy simple fiat on ramp, because people see things like KuCoin and going through like big exchanges like that and setting orders and all this kind of stuff super confusing for the average person who just wants, I just want to buy some coins so I can buy this NFT. You know, that's all they're thinking about. They don't want to have to buy UST and then send it to an exchange and then exchange that for Kadena and then send that to their wallet, making sure they put it in their right wallets on the exchange and all this kind of stuff. And as soon as we see more of that, I believe that will open the floodgates, like just massively. For example, you have another network, Elrond, who came out with their NFT system in the past year and a bit or so, and they have created a very simple wallet where you can buy right inside and then buy NFTs right through the wallet. Very simple, very easy, and that. As soon as they came out with that, it was just exponential. Like you can see the amount of wallets went from 10,000 wallets to 1 million wallets in like a couple of months, kind of thing.
Yeah, like reducing like the friction, right? Like that's really what it comes down.
Just to add to that specifically, not as big as Elrond, but that's exactly what Hypercent specifically have done, right? They integrated a launchpad into a wallet, right? So if you can, raise funds via wallet, why wouldn't you be able to do the same for NFTs, which is exactly what Alpha Slayers and KadenaEcosystem are going to do over here. So we're doing exactly the same thing. The only difference is that over here, those were actual community devs building a project by themselves, not the devs on Kadena that have done so, right? But it just happens once you go ahead and you think, okay, I don't want to just build for the sake of building. I want to build something that has never been done before to reduce all of that friction.
For sure. The more, like I was saying with when I was speaking with another space the other night, was that making systems that make it so that the user itself is just touch and go and doesn't even need to know that they're using kind of blockchain in the background is what's going to bring adoption. So the less friction, like you said before, of getting people involved and getting them in the door is what's needed. And hopefully, like I said, you got Hypersense building things. You got, hopefully there'll be some other wallets and on ramps that get on board. Like it'd be nice to see, one of the huge already existing crypto on ramps, like I don't know, like ones like BTC Direct in Europe, like they're a fairly large provider of cryptos and things like that, picking up Kadena and offering it, which would be a much bigger on ramp for a lot of people. But still, like it is. That being said, you can still fairly easily get Kadena. Crypto.com, you can buy it there, but the only problem is you can't withdraw it because they don't have withdrawing to external wallets yet. So you're kind of stuck with I know I have a few KDA there that I was like, okay, I'll just buy it because I have some money that I got from Crow that I had staked. It's like, I'll buy some KDA because the price is way down and just let it sit there in that wallet until hopefully they let me take it out. I won't touch it. I'll just let it sit. But at the same time, then it's like, well, now I can't really use it for what I wanted to use it for. So hopefully once those barriers get broken down, Kadena gets more frictionless for on-ramps to get people involved, then if there's a good marketplace, or even if the systems themselves, like if Alpha Slayer clubs, any of you projects, NFT projects, or any of you create your own minting section, which would be very helpful to mint on your own website. I know KittyCat has minting right on their own website and everything. So instead of relying on a marketplace itself, because it might be a while before a very strong NFT marketplace comes about, like an open sea for Kadena, but I'm sure it's already being built as we speak. So if anyone else wants to step up and has anything to say, it's kind of just an open talk spaces here, that just shooting the crap about Kadena and blockchain in general. So feel free to step up and have your say. If you have any questions as well about KPN, I'm more than welcome to answer them.
So I do have a question about KPN. I am relatively new to this Kadena space, so if you wouldn't mind just giving me a brief summary of what your project is about, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, sure. So what we're building is right now we're still working on building our website, but it's going to be a place where everyone can find all the latest news on all the different projects being built on top of Kadena, as well as past events, like any AMAs, kind of things like that. And then we're also going to have a place to build a repertoire of documentation where people can put their own say into the community. Pretty much just like kind of like the Kadena, on the main Kadena website, they have their ecosystem section. It'll pretty much be like that, but branched out, way more expanded, to try to bring in all the communities together and just kind of facilitate that away from the Kadena team, and just so that they have, it's, I don't know, kind of like not replace it, but step up and be the community part that it needs to be. Because eventually, like I said, the Kadena team, as great as they are, and they have been so amazing with their Discord and everything, of people just being able to actually speak. Like, how many crypto projects out there can you speak to the actual people that work on the main net itself? You know, that's kind of unheard of, even in a starting off space. A lot of the times that's unheard of. So they've done an excellent job, but at some time the community is going to have to step up and take over some of these things for them. So that's where KPN is trying to step up to take over to help out and bring that ecosystem together and just build a strong community.
Nice. So you're basically offloading the work, the community work, from Kadena, so they can focus on, it's like you said earlier, right? You want they should be focusing only on like building the blockchain and making it, bigger, right? And then like we as the community, like they gave us, they're passing the torch, right? So like basically we as now need to pick up the slack. And honestly, having a platform like KPN, like once, of course, I'm looking forward to the launch, because like, there needs to be a central, I know using that word is scary in crypto, but you know what I mean, like a central point where people can go for information. That would be great, because honestly, a lot of this is not a jab at the Kadena team, of course they're very busy people, but a lot of the documentation is outdated, and like a lot of stuff needs to be picked up by us. Like this is where we need to strap up and start doing that kind of work, because they have bigger fish.
Exactly.
No, I like that. It's a great idea. Awesome. And I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Oh, happy to. Hopefully our website should be out. We're looking at hopefully sometime this month. We're just doing some final tweaks and stuff, like little cosmetic things here and there, making sure that all the links and all the pages work together and flow nice and smooth. But we should be up and running. We've already had pretty much all the projects that we've reached out to and done AMAs with. A lot of them have already signed up, so a lot of their information has already been added, and they're going to already, as soon as we launch, they're going to be right front and center on like upcoming projects and all that stuff. So it's going to be a good chance for a lot of projects to get some good promotion. So, and hopefully bring some more people to their communities as well. Because it's all about, sharing the information, sharing the love, and making sure that we all build our communities together and make sure that we keep it a strong community, but also a safe community. Because like a lot of the things going on in the NFT space right now is, these projects coming out of nowhere, promising all these great things, and then, as soon as they've sold, 95% of their collection, bye-bye. Just all of a sudden, social's gone, Discord's gone, wallet's empty, and you never hear from these people again until they create their next project. And we need to make sure that we keep our community safe from things like that. Like I was talking about with Elron later, that's becoming a huge project or a huge issue in their community now, where just communities are getting people are getting rug pulled, and it just puts a bad look on your space.
Yeah.
So it's about being partly together and making sure that we help each other, we build the needed documentation, we make sure that each other is safe. Like for example, just even a new project comes up and like, hey, I want to come up with this new feature for my project. I've written out the smart contract. Can you give it a quick audit? just even a quick, like, things like that can really help, because more the
Wow.
old saying of, many
You have no
many
idea.
hands make light work. Yeah.
Seriously so. Like, seriously so. It's our responsibility right now to audit every single contract that's
Yes.
about to go live for each other, right?
Yeah.
But I can honestly say that we cannot take anything, okay, for granted. We cannot say, okay, Pact is safe, right? I honestly think that sentence, Pact is safe, is the most dangerous sentence that can be said. I mean, of course, Pact is safe. Pact can be safe if you're using it properly, right? But it doesn't mean that Pact is foolproof if you're not using it properly. And too many people are repeating the same exact mistakes because they're going from the assumption that everything is so perfectly safe, so they do not need to even bother with an audit or bother with a peer review. And that is dangerous because most of the things that are written right now, right, are being written for the very first time. And those that come afterwards, they're going to copy our code. So we got to make sure that we do our due diligence, not only for ourselves, but also for each other, right?
Yeah.
That's important.
Very much so. Very much so. You don't want you want to run into any issues. And like, what would it take if you know how to read a smart contract? It takes you what, a couple of minutes to maybe briefly go through one and just give a quick look. But those quick looks can save huge exploits down the road, and those are what you want to make sure that we keep each other safe from. It's not like a huge thing to really ask, and hopefully with KPN we can bring that space where you have a safe space that you feel like you can do these things and speak to each other in confidence and know that I'm speaking to someone who's very wants to wants the best for you, and you want the best for them, because we're all in this together for the better interest of building the Kadena community together. So yeah. This is a great conversation. There's lots of talk about where we see the community having to step up and really take control and take order of the system and make sure that what the Kadena team has built us continues into the future and builds exponentially. Like, they can only build so much. They're only so much of a team. So that's where we come together as a community to go, okay, you guys gave us the basis to work with. Now let us go to work, and we're just going to show you some of the amazing things that we can do with their base. So I'm very excited to see what the future, even the next couple months, honestly hold for Kadena. There's so much being built at such an exponential rate, but like you were saying, definitely got to make sure that we look over each other's shoulders and make sure that it's a safe community.
Yeah, because there is definitely the stigma, of course, of like NFTs. When you mention NFTs to someone who's like doesn't really understand them fully, they just know of all the scams, so they just roll their eyes, right? So it's better to like have measures like to stop that, to at least not taint Kadena with that that kind of garbage that we don't want to deal with. And just on a it's just generally refreshing for me, at least, like this is just from my point of view, to see a non-NFT project on Kadena. Like I said, I am relatively new, so like most of what I've been exposed to so far has been NFT projects, so it's pretty cool to see one that is not that.
Well, that's another thing about NFTs, is that people have a misconception about NFTs, I feel. Right now, you hear NFT, you think funny looking picture, that people spend all their money on, where an NFT can be so much more when you break down what it represents and what it can do. Like, for example, like an NFT could be, we were talking with the people from DocuShield the other day, and like how that their NFT will be a key to securing your documents, which is a huge use case for NFTs that people don't even think about, and making it so that they don't even know that that's what they're doing is kind of the idea. So like, and a lot of other use cases I saw for NFTs in the future that I haven't seen yet, that for the example I gave before was one that would take NFTs to a whole nother level that people wouldn't even understand that they're using it as an NFT, would be if a company like, say, Ticketmaster could solve all of their problems with counterfeiting tickets and scalping tickets and all that stuff with the simple making of an app and integrating NFTs and blockchain into their system. Overnight, it would lock down their entire system. Like, a lot of people don't think about NFTs that way. And that's another thing that people need to start thinking outside of the box with. Like, it's great. Like, I love all these NFT projects. Don't get me wrong. I love art. I definitely am a collector of art just for the sake of, I really like this person's art. I'm going to support them. That's also a huge part of the NFT project, and it needs to be. But at the same time, there's so much more possibilities with this space, you know? And it's amazing to see what is being built on top of that. So, like I said, they're giving us the tools to build it. We just got to run with it and build all these new systems that will hopefully eventually one day become the big Web3 future that we're all being told about.
Yeah, just to add to what it is that you said over there, NFTs are the only, I think, the main reason why MoK exists. Because we hate NFTs, or at least I hate NFTs. I despise them with a burning passion. So MoK was created mainly to prove that everything that's happening these days with NFTs is a gross misconduct of an otherwise amazing piece of technology. Like you were talking about NFTs as tickets. In the next few days, we're going to start rolling out some examples of the NFTs we have. But just because we're in that conversation right now, I'm going to spill a bit of information. We got right now about 17 different types of NFTs in MoK, starting from simply cosmetic NFTs to NFTs that are interoperable with each other. For example, miners, equipment, medallions, goggles, that all of them have different types of utility and can connect in different ways with each other. We have a single-use NFTs that once you use them, you burn them in a very way, in a way that is similar to an extent to tickets, right? We got mining permits that are like, let's say, like an access pass to certain types of mines that can easily be used as an alternative way of accessing lounges, at airports. If you have this membership card, you can access. If not, you got to pay, exactly like what we have, and several other ways. Even some NFT, for technical reasons like gas policies or like being able to enforce a scholarship system for being able to rent out NFTs. Everything is possible. But the second we actually create them, then we're going to have a lot of massive institutions going to be adopting that type of technology to benefit that upwards.
Yeah. If it's going to benefit them, they have no reason not to. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people are, I know I'm definitely banking on, is that in the future, as we see the fiat system slowly eat itself and collapse, which if you don't understand what fiat means pretty much built to implode. It's a system that's built to pretty much go up to a certain point and then just explode and fall apart. Hopefully, as this happens, we see the massive shift towards Web3 and blockchain and security. But as we were saying earlier with the government-ran stable coins and stuff like that, it may not be what we'd want it to be. But at the same time, there's nothing they can do to stop us. Like they can't shut down Bitcoin. They can't shut down Kadena from running. They'd have to turn off the entire internet to do that, which they can't afford to do because most of their systems also run on the internet. So really, it's just a matter of if we build it, and it's better than what they're using now, then there's no reason for them not to jump on board and realize that this is the future that we're building. And just because it's not going to, how can I put this? It's decentralized so that if they want to use it, they can just go ahead and use it. They don't have to tell you that they're even going to use it. You know, like no one needs permission to go ahead and do this stuff. Like just do it. So if we build something that's better, like you've seen how big corporations like Walmart and all those ones have started actually using blockchain for tracking purposes. So they can track right from seed right to their store. So they know, you know, if like a certain batch of lettuce or something has salmonella, they can look back and see exactly who touched it, warehouses, the times, and all that kind of stuff that these products went through. So they're slowly realizing that blockchain is the future. And obviously the last hurdle will be the economic sector, which will fight it to the very end, of course, because money is what rules the world. So, which is why they're trying to get these government CDCs across. But like I was saying, it's if we build the community now, it's building it for the future and hoping that we still have a say. And this is how we get our say, is by building communities and building things together. So hopefully for a brighter future for tomorrow. I know I sound like a bit of an optimist, but I try to be, because we need more optimism in this world. So yeah, if anyone has anyone else they want to step up and join into the conversation, feel free to. We're going to probably keep this going for another little while here. Definitely.
I'm actually right now realizing I'm late to a meeting, so unfortunately I'm going to have to leave you guys. It's been a pleasure. Looking forward to a lot of those. Cheers, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, if there's anytime you guys need anything, just feel free to contact us. You can always send us a DM on Twitter or join our Discord. There's lots of ways to get a hold of us. So thank you very much for stopping by and having this chat with us today.
Thank you as well. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Been a pleasure, man. See you.
Bye-bye, guys.
Have a good day. Anyone else have anything that they want to add to the conversation, or maybe we'll make this as a good place to wrap it up? KadCars, anyone else have anything else to say? If not, I'd just like to thank everyone for stopping by. This is kind of a very impromptu last minute thing, but I'm glad that we were able to get together and have this conversation today. The more times that we have conversations, the more we get out there and learn from one another and build. So I'd like to say thank you to everyone that came today and stopped by listening. And I guess if that's if no one else has anything else to say, we'll just give her an end there and talk again next time.
Yep, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for hosting. Thank you for this. This was awesome. Yeah. See you guys. Bye.
Yeah, of course, man. Thanks. Have a good day. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for listening, and make sure you give KPN a follow for all of our upcoming AMA events and all stuff related to Kadena. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and have yourselves a fantastic day. That wraps it up for another amazing AMA. Thank you very much for listening. Here at KPN, we strive to bring an open platform for projects being built on Kadena to present themselves to the community. Please ensure to do your own research on each project before investing. Also ensure to follow us on our social media, from Twitter to our weekly newsletter. All the links can be found on our SoundCloud profile page. Thank you very much for listening, and take care.